Hi, I want to share with you a powerful method for working with your anger that really helps you discover what's truly at the root and then process those emotions. So, I am giving this talk from my meditation cushion. If you are a meditator and you can take your meditation posture, great. If you're not, you are perfectly welcome to do this from your chair. So if you're in a chair, just if you can, put both feet on the floor, sit with an upright spine. It's a posture that's considered relaxed but alert. So we are exploring here. We want some alertness and curiosity that we're going to bring to this process. So just take a moment and take your seat, move into a comfortable but alert posture, and take a deep breath. This will be more of a visualization than a meditation, but it combines elements of both. And I do think it is something you might come back to time and time again to work through difficult emotions. So let's just take a moment to center where we are, to really notice our breath, notice the sounds around you, notice the feeling of your feet on the floor or your seat in your cushion. Really bring your mind to what's around you just right now and breathe into that. Some nice slow breaths that might feel relaxing, grounding, and centering. Now I'm going to have you do the opposite of what we usually do in a meditation posture. And I'm going to have you bring to mind the event that caused your anger, whether it's a recent event or one from the past. But bring to mind an event that made you angry or is currently making you angry, right? And I just want you to take a second and really let yourself bring up the story. Anger has stories around it, right? We have a whole story in our head about what makes us angry. And I just want you to take a moment and let yourself feel that anger. Let your thoughts run with it. I'm going to be quiet for just a moment while you really bring it to mind as strongly as you can. Now, as you bring this story to mind, notice what's happening in your body. For most people, they might notice their hearts racing. They might notice they feel warmer, or some people might feel colder, but there might be a temperature change. Your muscles might feel tense. Just really notice what's happening to you physically as you let yourself get into this story. Now, I'd like you to take a deep breath. Really notice the energy that came up with the anger. Feel it in your body. And I'm going to ask you to try to drop the storyline. We're going to drop the story around why you're angry, whatever was done to who and to you did or they did, and all of that stuff. We're going to drop it for a moment and just feel the energy of the anger in your body. And as you tune into what this anger feels like in your body, see if you can almost visualize it. Maybe give it a color. Notice where in your body it's the strongest. Where is that anger living in your body? What shape is it? What other qualities does it have? Heat, pulsing. I want you to really visualize what that anger feels like in your body, just in its energy form. Now I'd like you to take a moment and we are going to go underneath that anger. Is there an emotion hiding underneath that anger energy? Just take a moment and see if there is a deeper emotion under the anger. And if you are able to feel a deeper emotion, I'd like you to notice that emotion's energy. Visualize that emotion in your body. Where does that emotion live? Give that emotion a color and a shape. And if you haven't gotten to an emotion underneath the anger, that's fine. You can just stay with the emotion of the anger. But if you're able to get deeper, see if there are other emotions underneath the anger or coexisting with the anger. And there probably are more than one. There's likely to be more than one under it, and maybe one or two next to it. So just really feel the energy of the different emotions. And if you can, just sit with the energy of those emotions for a moment. I'm going to be quiet and just have you feel what they feel like in your body. Now see if those other emotions want you to move in a particular way. So if you've identified sadness, the urge to cry might come up, which is fine. Perhaps the emotion might be telling you to hug yourself or to clench. Let's see what the emotions are telling you to do physically. And if it's easy enough to do in your seat, do that motion. And now I'd like you to picture a healing light, just a light form. If you have a spiritual focus, it could come from that spirituality. It could simply be light from the sun. But really breathe in the light and feel the light coming into your body and sort of rinsing over the emotions. Breathe in that light. Breathe it in, and as you picture breathing it in, imagine it filling your body and washing over those emotions. And as the healing light washes over the emotions, notice if the emotions are getting smaller. Notice if they're shifting shape, if some are becoming stronger and others are fading into the background. Just notice as you breathe in a healing light, what is happening. And now I'd like to ask you to return to your breath. Just return to the feeling of breathing, whatever that means to you. Bring your attention back to your breath, to the feeling of your body inhaling and exhaling. As much of your focus as you can on your breathing, and then a little bit of focus on what you are hearing. Any noises, it might just be the air system of the building, It might be the birds outside. It might be a lot of noise, depending where you are. But just notice, obviously my voice as well, right? But just notice what you're hearing. And now let's bring our attention back to our feet on the floor or our seat in the cushion. A sense of awareness of our body in the space we're in right now. You might even want to take a moment and just look around your room, check in, and come back to your breath. And if you need a few more moments to just focus on your breathing, to reset, feel free to pause this video. I want to ask a few questions. We'll explore it just briefly, but you can always pause it, focus on your breathing, and then come back when you're feeling more reset if you need. So let's talk about that for a moment. If some other emotions came up for you, are those the real emotions driving the anger for you? And if they are, what needs to be done for those emotions? What do you need to do to take care of yourself and to take care of those emotions? And what did you notice about the energy of the anger? The energy of the anger can actually be a very positive energy if we use it mindfully and skillfully. It can help us make change. It can help us speak up for ourselves. It can help us motivate us to change the things we need to change, right? So noticing that energy, that if we're mindful about it, it doesn't overtake us and explode. Now, under it, if there were feelings of hurt and sorrow and grief, those might feel overwhelming, yet you can also sit with those emotions. Emotions tend to peak and then resolve. If we sit with them, if we let the emotion be, it tends to peak and resolve, unless we're fueling it with a story. If we're fueling whatever the emotion is, it could be depression or sadness or anxiety, or there could be all sorts of emotions underneath anger, right? They're all fueled by a storyline. If we keep the storyline going, that emotion will stay heightened. But if we can drop the storyline, drop into an observation mode with the emotion, often it will peak and subside. So I'll link here to a playlist with my other videos on anger and my other videos on meditation in case you are interested in those. And I'd love to know how this exercise and meditation was for you. If you have questions or comments, please post them below, and I look forward to seeing you soon.